Hello, I am Dr. Bree, and today I have a really important video that is for anybody who's in a relationship where the male partner has erectile dysfunction, premature ejaculation, or any type of what I call performance anxiety around sex. So what I want to share with you is essentially how to have great sex, even when that is the case, even when that's going on with one of the partners. So if your partner has premature ejaculation, performance anxiety of any type, or erectile dysfunction, please watch this. We're going to talk about some very important information about the mind and how that actually impacts sex. I'm also going to share some resources that are very, very helpful. And I'm going to share some warm-up exercises that you can use before your next time together, your next time of intimacy. So let's go ahead and get right started with the mindset component and kind of what's going on up here, because truly a good sex session starts in the brain. And that's not just true for women. I know that this is a commonly known fact that women take longer to get aroused and to be ready for sex in general than men. Now, there's a spectrum. Everybody is different. But for most women, they tend to take longer than men to get in the mood and get ready. So that's true that women need to feel relaxed and calm, but men also need a couple of really, really important things when they are dealing with a history of premature ejaculation, erectile dysfunction, or any type of just performance anxiety that's making the sexual experience not so good. So two things that need to happen are we need to help our partner reduce feelings of pressure and reduce expectations. So let me explain a little bit further. For our bodies to work optimally in sex, we can't be in freeze mode. We can't be in fight mode, and we can't be in freeze mode. We need to be in that nice, relaxed, calm, parasympathetic, rest and digest, or feed and breed state. The autonomic nervous system is part of our nervous system that includes two components. We have the sympathetic system, which is fight or flight. We also have a freeze response that's part of actually the parasympathetic system, but that's a whole nother story. Point is, we fight or we flight or we freeze when we're under extreme stress. Now, the parasympathetic state is the state where we're feeling really relaxed and we're in a state where we can digest our food easily, we can go to sleep, we can also feel like we want to have sex. So we don't want to be in fight, flight, or freeze mode, which often happens when we're feeling a lot of pressure. Now, I know that for me, if I feel pressure for sex or for a time, like a time frame, or if I feel pressure like this date has to be perfect, this date with my man has to be amazing, it has to end in amazing sex, that type of pressure just completely turns off everything. So that's from my point of view as a woman. But for men, especially if they have a history of erectile dysfunction or premature ejaculation or just anxiety around sex of any sort, pressure to make it perfect, pressure to make his partner orgasm, pressure to have it be this perfect, amazing event with this perfect conclusion is just going to put you in that sympathetic state, this hyperactivation, this hyperarousal state. We want to be in a calm state where there's not a lot of pressure, where there's no expectations of perfection. There's not even an expectation that there has to be a specific outcome of either one of the partners having an orgasm. If you take away that pressure and that expectations of outcomes, it makes a massive difference for both partners. Ultimately, the outcome really just needs to be to have fun together and to, have a nice time together and to feel good in whatever way that may look. So reducing that pressure, and for the partner, for the male partner who has had these issues in the past, just to know that he's going through a lot mentally as he's preparing for any sexual encounter because he has this whole history of things not working out so well. And so have some compassion for your male partner who has a history like this. there's a lot going on, even if he's not really consciously aware of it, there's a lot going on underneath the surface that's making him feel a little bit stressed and a little bit anxious about making it work this time. He probably feels a little bit betrayed by his body, and like he's let himself down, and like his body has let him down, and like he's let you down in the past. And so just know that that is probably happening underneath the surface. And so having some compassion and just allowing the moment to be for fun and intimacy and pleasure with no expectations of outcome is absolutely key. Another thing that can be really helpful for both people in the relationship is to make sure that there is total privacy. If that is something that makes the pressure feel less intense and to make you feel calmer and safer, make sure it's totally private environment. Make sure you're in a box of time that has sufficient time to explore and to have fun together. You're not super, super pressured to get it done really fast or anything like that. Also, if it is maybe a date night or some special occasion experience, there can be a lot of kind of internal pressure that maybe isn't even expressed, but this performance pressure to make it be amazing because it's some special date or special event or special occasion. Just take that off. In my opinion, it's really handy just to take it off by addressing it and saying, hey, so today's a special day, but let's just have fun and enjoy ourselves. There's no pressure. All right. So the next thing I want to share with you is some resources that are really, really helpful for any couple especially when the partner has performance anxiety, premature ejaculation, or erectile dysfunction. So one resource that I have, especially for men with premature ejaculation, is a book called She Comes First. So this is a really great book. It's called The Thinking Man's Guide to Pleasuring a Woman, but it's not just about the fact that will teach you how to really do a great job with oral sex. So that's part of the book. But it's also written by a man who dealt with premature ejaculation. And one of the ways that he dealt with it was really realizing that this was going to be an experience of pleasure and joy for both parties. And he was going to work with his partner to help her feel good before him. And so the idea was he dealt with his premature ejaculation by learning the tools to really pleasure his partner in a lovely, loving, fun, playful, pleasurable way, generous way, and allowing her or his partner to come first. And I would say, again, take the pressure off of both parties. Even if the partner, the female partner, doesn't come, it still is a successful experience if you're enjoying yourselves and feeling good. So in the book, he's pleasuring his partner, she feels good, and then he feels like he can have sex with her. And if premature ejaculation is a problem, it's not as big of a deal because she's felt good too. So it's learning how to have this balance of enjoying time together, making sure that both parties are getting what they need to feel really good and working with it in that way. So that is a great book for men, particularly men with premature ejaculation. Now, for any couple, a heterosexual relationship couple, where the male partner wants to learn more about his female partner's body, Women's Anatomy of Arousal is a wonderful book. And there are lots of tips for men to really learn about the female body, to really learn how to just enjoy and make the experience more playful and more fun for both parties, whether or not there's any orgasmic outcome. So this is for men who have erectile dysfunction and maybe they can't stay firm enough to really complete the process to orgasm. Maybe you're with somebody who has performance anxiety and it's like, oh my gosh, I feel all this pressure. I'm not able to come. I'm not able to have an orgasm. And now I'm worried about my partner. She's not able to have an orgasm. So there's all this pressure. If you make the session more about pleasure than about pressure for orgasm, that's going to make a massive difference. So learning about your partner's body is super, super helpful to just make it a fun pleasure experience and a play experience, even if there's no orgasmic outcome where one or both of the parties comes. So even if that doesn't happen, you can still feel good and have fun together and just have an intimate experience. Another resource I want to share with you is a program called Vigor that I just released with Michael Hodge. We created this program together for men with erectile dysfunction and premature ejaculation. And this program is an online resource that really, really helps men on a mind and body level. So we're working with the mindset, the energetics, and also the physical body. So we have specific exercises and stretching routines to really bring blood flow to that area to help the muscles learn how to relax and activate at the correct times to allow for awesome sex to happen. So check out Vigor if you are interested. It's really designed for men with erectile dysfunction and premature ejaculation. And there is great tools and resources in that program that are going to help you. So next, let's talk about warm-up exercises and techniques that you can do with your partner as a team to really kind of make the sexual session the best ever, even if it doesn't end in orgasm. So even if it's just warming up for a beautiful, intimate play experience, this is wonderful. These techniques are wonderful to really help get you there. So this is something that maybe not all partners are comfortable with. And I want you to really, if you're watching this and maybe you are with somebody that has erectile dysfunction or premature ejaculation or performance anxiety, you can also just use these techniques alone with yourself. And your partner can use them alone with himself if he would rather, if it's uncomfortable for him to do it with you. But I do want you to maybe broach this subject gently. Say, hey, there's this lady, Dr. Bree, and she says these exercises are going to help us have great sex today and have a great time together. Even if it's not orgasmic, we're still going to have an amazing, beautiful, relaxing experience. And these exercises, she says, are helpful. Go ahead and put it on me. You don't have to make it your idea, because sometimes taking the pressure off by putting it on someone else, like, oh, someone else told me to try this, can be helpful, especially if your partner feels a little bit resistant to doing this. But I'm going to show you now the exercises. I'll put the inset videos in so you can see what they look like, and I'm going to talk you through them. So the first exercise for a warm-up, and these are all things that you can do when you're in a safe, quiet, private space, when you feel ready to have your intimate time. These are things you can do. They should take no more than maybe 5 minutes to do all of them, or you can pick one that works for you. So the first one you're going to do is breathing. So this breathing practice is really important for calming the nervous system, to getting you out of that fight, flight, or freeze mode and into that nice rest, digest, feed, and breed mode, that juicy mode of, I want to be intimate with my partner. I just want to have fun. I want to be in the moment and be present, because that's really what sex and intimacy is all about, is presence and focus with your partner. So what you're going to do is, if you're comfortable with this, put your hand on one another's heart, and you are simply going to breathe slowly and deeply through the nose on the inhale and out through the mouth on the exhale. Now, when you breathe out through the mouth on the exhale, this is very, very relaxing for the jaw. If you just let your jaw drop and relax, and thereby it's also relaxing for your pelvic floor. Now, so many people with erectile dysfunction and premature ejaculation actually have too much pelvic floor tension. Sometimes we might think of these issues as people who need to just work on strengthening the area, and strengthening is often very, very helpful. But it's very important to learn how to relax the pelvic floor muscles first. And so one thing that the Vigor program I mentioned talks about is actually relaxing the pelvic floor muscles and just gaining more awareness and motor control over these muscles. But the breathing is the first step in relaxing the pelvic floor muscles and learning how to calm the nervous system and bring you down into a state of presence and togetherness with your partner. So again, it's inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. If you want to develop a rhythm where you and your partner are going on the same pace, that's wonderful. But you can also be breathing at different paces. It doesn't have to be exactly equal breathing. Now, if you like kind of a guide to count to as far as inhalations and exhalations, it can be very helpful to breathe in for a count of about 4, pause, and then exhale for a count of about 8. So again, it's an inhalation a pause, and then a long, slow exhalation. Slower is often better in sex and in life. Slower is often better. So slow it down. Be in the moment. Inhale for 4, pause, exhale for 8. So again, inhaling through the nose is really, really calming, and it's also very cleansing to inhale through your nose rather than through your mouth. And exhaling through your mouth, letting your jaw be completely relaxed, is very, very helpful. If you don't like exhaling through your mouth, you can inhale and exhale through your nose, both. Just do everything through your nose. But I find that the inhaling through the nose and the exhaling through the mouth is extremely calming. And this breathing pattern has been proven to calm the nervous system and put you more in a parasympathetic state versus that hyped up, hyper aroused sympathetic state, which can, it's not the sexual state. The most optimal sexual arousal state is parasympathetic with some sympathetic pulled in, but you don't want the dominant state to just be sympathetic. We want to come into that parasympathetic, calm, rest and digest state. All right. Our next exercise is a cat and cow in a seated position, and also trunk circles or heart circles. So this is a really neat way to really feel like you're bringing up the energy. You're really bringing the energy of the body up and into the pelvis and the heart area. So the heart and the pelvis area are two really essential areas to bring focus, attention, energy, and blood flow to when you're about to be intimate with your partner. So seated cat and cow, you are simply inhaling and then exhaling, arching back. So inhaling, arching forward, hearts are toward each other. Exhaling, arching back, hearts go away from each other. So this rhythmic motion, take it slow, and you can go with the same breathing count that you did before. Inhale for 4 counts, pause, and then exhale for 8 counts, pause. You can also play with going a little faster. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, whatever works for you. But this is getting a lot of nice, juicy spinal mobility and pelvic mobility. And it's bringing that energy and that blood flow to the center of your body to kind of get the engines running and get things rolling and get things ready for an amazing sexual play experience. The other move that you can try is a heart circle. So your hands are on your knees and you're simply breathing and circling. So it's like you're drawing a circle on the floor beneath you with your heart. And in this motion, you can inhale as you circle forward and exhale as you circle back. Inhale as you circle forward and exhale as you circle back. And you want to go about the same number of times each direction. Although honestly, don't get too caught up in that for this particular thing, because we're about to, have an intimate experience. Don't worry about like reps or certain counts and numbers of reps or sets. Just feel good. Go about, 4 to 8 times one direction, and then maybe you can give each other a look with your eyes and switch it the other way. Just take your time with it. And this is a really beautiful way to warm up. The last move I want to share with you is a stretch that really opens and relaxes the pelvic floor. This is helpful for anybody. It can be very helpful for both partners to really focus on opening the pelvic floor in what I call frog stretch. So happy baby is another one that many people like, but frog stretch is lovely. You're just holding on inside your legs to your ankles. You can also hold on around your thighs too. If that feels too much to hold on to your ankles, you can hold on to your shins or your thighs, and just opening the knees apart. Feet are close together, and you're simply breathing into the pelvic area, breathing into the pelvic floor, relaxing and releasing those muscles. You can do this side by side. You can rock a little bit with your partner. Maybe there's some beautiful music playing. Maybe there's some candles going. You can just relax in this position. Maybe say sweet nothings to one another. Just talk to one another. Just make it a really fun experience that you're both doing together. Or, as I said earlier, if this is too much to do it together in the same room, you could also do this on your own before sex. Both partners can do it individually on your own, and then you can come together for a really amazing experience. Now, a little bonus is if you want to give yourself or your partner a perineal massage, this can be wonderful. I'm going to show you a model about where the perineum is right now. So this right here is a female pelvis, and this is where the perineum is right here, the area between the vagina and the anus, this area right here. Now, men have perineum as well. Men have the same area of muscle, and this is a different type of model that shows the inside of the male pelvic floor. And this is showing the muscles that are the outer, the more external muscles of the male pelvic floor. So this is the male perineum right here. So it's also known as the taint. And it is between the anus and the testicles in men. So this area, it's skin covered. It's an external area. You don't have to do any internal work. It's just all external. But massaging this area very gently, gentle circular motions, or gentle side to side motions, gentle up and down motions, very small motions. It's like you're giving somebody a shoulder massage. And hey, that's a lovely thing to do before sex too. But the perineum can be a really great place for both partners to massage one another or for them to massage themselves. And this again is the female perineum. So the area between the vagina and the anus right here. I'm going to show you one more time on the big model. This is the female perineum. But this is the area, just massaging this area gently while breathing deeply. So the breath is so important. So breathing deeply into that area and gently massaging it is wonderful. Now, if you have a really lovely natural lubricant, maybe with some coconut oil and sweet almond oil and something like that, that's natural and lovely, that can really help too. So a natural, body safe lubricant that you love, use that. I don't recommend using lubes with a lot of weird, like heating things that make it feel like it's heating or nothing. We don't want artificial things. We don't want artificial chemicals in that part of our body. So keep it natural. And that massage is, like I said, just as good, if not better, than a nice full body massage. Just focus it right there. It's going to bring blood flow and circulation and pleasure to that area. It's going to stimulate the nerve endings. And if you are a man with premature ejaculation, I would encourage you, for any of these exercises that I just shared with you, try to find your edge. If you're feeling like you're getting close to that feeling of like you're gonna come, you're gonna lose it, then try to find that place of about 60 to 70% of getting there and then back off. And you can have a dialogue and a conversation with your partner and let your partner know that you are not wanting to go all the way. You know, you're wanting to find that edge and then back off if you need to. So 60 to 70% is a great kind of guideline of, you don't want to go past that because then you might actually ejaculate. And that's not, ultimately we're wanting to extend the play experience so that you can have sex, or you can just, have a longer session together. So again, find that edge of 60 to 70% and then back off a little bit if you need to. But all of these are wonderful for relaxing the nervous system, because remember, if we're too amped up, it's going to make the issues with premature ejaculation, erectile dysfunction, and any type of sexual performance anxiety worse. We want to be in that beautiful zone of calm, of presence that will allow us to have more control over our body, more ability to, again, have that motor control and that awareness of the sensations of what are going on. If we're amped up, too hyper aroused, we just don't have that control. So I hope that this has helped you. And again, to recap, we want to reduce pressure and expectations mentally. We want to learn about our partner and how to just have more fun in the process of sexual pleasure. Even if it doesn't result in orgasm, it can be helpful to learn about your partner's body. And if you are a male with premature ejaculation or erectile dysfunction or performance anxiety of any sort, and you have a female partner, then 2 books I recommend are Women's Anatomy of Arousal and She Comes First. I also recommend Vigor, a wonderful program that's an online program for the mind and body. And lastly, do those exercises, do the warm-up routine before your next session, play some soft music, light some candles, make it fun, make it sensual, make it a time of being present with one another and focused on one another. You're going to love it, and your partner's going to love it too. So I hope that this has helped you have great sex, even with erectile dysfunction, premature ejaculation, or performance anxiety of any sort. You've got this. Have fun in the bedroom, make it light, hold it lightly, and just enjoy yourselves. If this has helped you, please give it a like, share it with someone who needs it. And until next time, remember, eat clean, move every day, and you will shine brighter. Bye.